Welcome to Life Recovery Today, brought to you by New Life. If you're feeling stuck in addiction, grief, anxiety, or broken relationships, you're not alone. Over the next half hour, you'll discover practical tools and biblical truth from the 12 steps of life recovery, designed to help you heal, grow, and thrive. Because recovery isn't just about what you're giving up, it's about who you're becoming. Whether you're new to recovery or looking to go deeper, we have resources to guide you. Bibles, workbooks, devotionals, and real stories of transformation. You can start your journey today on your own, in a group, or through your church. Visit newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to take the next step. This is your time for healing, hope, and freedom. This is Life Recovery Today.
Hi there, Steve Arterburn here, and welcome to Life Recovery Today. I am so glad that you're with us today. I'm holding in my hand what the Life Recovery Bible looked like when it first came out. And the reason I'm doing this is because I received a Bible, special Bible with gold and all that, for the 100,000th sale. And then they did a 200,000 and then 250, and then they quit doing it. Well, I was just at Tyndale House, the publisher, and they honored me. I got to do the devotional with my wife because we came out with two Bibles, the one-year Bible for men and the one-year Bible for women. But they gave me the 4 millionth Bible, Life Recovery Bible. Incredible. Recovery really is for everyone, and I'm just so thrilled that somebody had this idea at Tyndale. Yeah, we can do this. I can't tell you how many ideas I've thrown at people and they have said, no, we're not going to do it. And but fortunately, they said yes to this, and they brought Dave Stoop and I together, and I'm so grateful for that. You know, recovery really is for every person. And the reason that people don't get into treatment or don't start in a life recovery group or any kind of recovery group, they're pretty common. And the most common is they don't get help because someone is enabling them to not get help. They're enabling the problem to continue. You call them enablers, they could be called perpetuators because they make the problem worse. You may have heard me say, I say it many times, but Dr. Dave Stoop, who I miss every single day, his son had a heroin problem, and his son got better. And I don't even know how many years he's been in recovery. But he's a great guy. But Dave said he got better when I stopped doing things that made me feel better, but were actually helpful. And so, rather than not file charges, Dave filed charges. He did the hard things, the difficult things. And so maybe you are enabling someone, and it's time that you begin your codependency, enabling recovery, and that might be the thing that leads them to finally get better. Maybe you are still using because someone's enabling it. It's really hard when you make your problem their problem. Or they take your problem and they're working harder on your problem than you are. You can always decide, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. Well, in addition to people being roadblocks, there are these excuses that we come up with. Fatal excuses. How about this one? I can quit anytime. Now, isn't that something? Well, of course you can quit anytime. You could probably quit for a long time. But is quitting really the goal in life, to stop doing something? No. We want whatever we stop doing, whatever has prevented us to grow and mature. Yeah, we want to stop that, but that's not the goal. We want to stop that so that we can grow and put something in ourselves that builds character, helps us become a mature adult human being. That's what we're going for. And these steps, these 12 steps, which came right out of Scripture, It's why people love the Life Recovery Bible so much. We aren't cramming the Bible into recovery. We're bringing recovery back to the Bible where it began. And when we start to tell ourselves the truth, that stopping doesn't matter, it's just an exercise in futility. Yeah, I can stop. But does that fix the resentment that my wife or husband or kids have because I continue to drink my life away? No, it doesn't. So recovery is about building, stepping, moving, and growing. And I hope and pray that something on this program is going to help you go from thinking about what's at the very end to thinking about tomorrow could be the very beginning of the life I was called to be. Welcome back. You know, today's life recovery really is about life recovery. And we're going to talk about a very, very difficult topic. It's the topic of suicide. A lot of people struggle with addiction, and really they're trying to deal with overwhelming feelings, and sometimes, you know, they think there's no answer, there's no way out, but there's always a way out. In my life, I've had many despairing moments, and I've told myself it's going to be okay, because if I can just hang on, it's going to be okay. Life has big challenges for all of us, and we're looking for ways to deal with it. Unfortunately, some people, they want the pain to stop and they choose suicide, but it's not the answer. So I want to talk to you about another option. Rather than ending a life, I want to talk to you about beginning. There was a gentleman who was suicidal, and he had planned on jumping off of the Golden Gate Bridge for quite some time. He would go to the bridge, walk out, look at where he was going to jump, and knew that one of these days he was going to be so desperate that he finally would do it. Well, that day came, and his desperation was so great. You know, he didn't really want to die. He just wanted the pain to stop. And so he goes out onto the bridge. He's a little bit confused, and he ends up on the wrong side of the bridge. And how that happened, he doesn't know. He was so angry that he got on the wrong side of the bridge, and he wasn't going to run across to the other side because he might get hit by a car. Go figure. And it was such a horrible experience for him. He never came back, and he never finished the suicide. Another story I want to tell you that absolutely relates. A woman was miserable, depressed. Her husband was abusive, and she put a gun to her head and pulled the trigger. Immediately after she pulled the trigger, she started screaming for help. Somebody help me. And somebody heard her in the apartment next door and came running in and got 911 and saved her life, because when you shoot yourself in the head, you might not hit something that's going to damage your life. And she recovered and never ever attempted suicide again. So why am I telling you this? Because people that attempt suicide and it isn't successful, only 10% of them will ever commit suicide. So what I'm saying is, in a moment of desperation, you might be suicidal. You might want to end the pain. If you can get through that moment, you will be glad you did. Because, you know, once you kill yourself, you can't come back. So the evidence is that you don't really want to kill yourself, or it's not going to be the answer for what you're looking for. Otherwise, everybody that tries and fails, they would just try again until they got it right. But that doesn't happen. Here's what I say. Are you wanting to kill yourself? Fine. Just don't do it today. And when you wake up tomorrow, don't do it today. Every day you just say, I can always do this, but I'm just not going to do it today. You know, people that are between the ages of 10 and 34, this is the second most prevalent cause of death for that age group. Isn't that horrible? Second. Of all people, this is the leading cause of death, 10 to 34, but in all people in the U.S., it's 10th. So way up there, second for ages 10 to 34. 78% of all suicides are committed by men. And usually a suicide follows some shameful thing that's been revealed or going to be revealed, or some kind of financial disaster. The rate of suicide is up 35% since 1999. 45% of the people that do it have been diagnosed with some kind of mental health problem. And 90% of them, looking back, the people see that there was evidence all along. Now let's say that you're not suicidal, but you live with someone who is suicidal. You need to do whatever you can to prevent that person acting on impulse to stop the pain. So here's what they've discovered. If you have a gun in your house, if you will lock up that gun and you will take the ammunition to another part of the house and lock up the ammunition, even if the person who's suicidal knows where the keys are or the combination, going here, fiddling with this, coming back here and fiddling with this, most of the time it's enough time for the person not to want to shoot themselves. It gets them out of the impulse because they got to go over here, figure out how to get the ammo, come back over here, figure out how to unlock the gun. Now, of course, if you have somebody suicidal in your house, how about not have a gun there? But the point is this: if we can get people through a moment of pain, a moment where they don't think they can bear it anymore, then we've really helped them in a way that, they need therapy, they need counseling, but what they really need is for them to be protected from themselves. They also need to hear the stories of people that have tried it, failed, and they never do it again. They need to hear stories of people who have taken an overdose and immediately call 911 to try to get the stuff out of their system. Over and over again, people have proved that it is not the answer. And once they do it, they can't undo it. But when they fail at doing it, they don't just keep on doing it until they get it right. The best thing you can do in this world is be aware that sometimes people, it's not just pulling themselves up by the bootstraps. They're in a chronic, deep depression. And sometimes that can lead to suicidal thoughts. And when it does, those thoughts can be treated. If you have ideation, suicide ideation, those can be helped. You don't have to have those all the time. And so if you love somebody that is tempting or talking about suicide, just try to get them help. We offer help. 1-800-NEW-LIFE to you or to someone you love or someone you care about. And probably the most valuable thing is not somebody to give advice to the person who wants to commit suicide. Probably the most valuable thing is to be the person that can listen, care, and offer compassion. Hope that's helpful to you. What a sad thing for a life to leave this world early because somebody didn't have anybody to help him out. If you're tempted, don't do it today. If you know someone who is, you call and you get help for them.
Are you going through your struggles alone? Do you want someone to talk to help you through your pain? Do you feel like a failure when you relapse again, telling yourself, next time will be different? Don't walk this path alone anymore. Join a life recovery group today and be a person that your friends and family can be proud of. God created us to be in community, and we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country, and if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. Life Recovery brings recovery to you, right where you are. You'll take a journey with others to find healing and freedom. Whether you're looking to join a group or start one, New Life Ministries is here for you. Visit newlife.com/groups or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. It's hard to find a trusted friend when you're in crisis, someone who's been there and understands, but who also has the training and skill to give you practical help. Family, friends, and churches want to help, but often they're not equipped to care for those dealing with problems like addiction and pornography, infidelity, anger, depression. New Life Ministries is here to provide help and hope in life's hardest places. We're not focused on making people feel better. We're focused on helping people do the work that will help them be better. At New Life, we have resources available to help you, like books, DVDs, CDs, workshops, and our network of licensed counselors. If you need help, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and begin your new life today. Life recovery isn't just about making the courageous choice to give up an addiction or dependency. It's a journey towards health, wholeness, and becoming your very best you. If you need resources to help you in your journey, we can help. There are many life recovery resources that you can do on your own, with a group, or with your church. We have Bibles, workbooks, and devotionals that you can use to work your recovery right where you are. That's the beauty of life recovery. To learn more or to get the Life Recovery Bible or any other life recovery resource, visit liferecoverytoday.net or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Okay, so suicide is a tough topic. It's a tough topic, but it's a necessary conversation if we're ever going to offer hope for someone who's really struggling. And I remember my first job when I wanted to work with folks struggling severely in a psych hospital that became an alcohol and drug treatment center. I answered the phone at night. And I remember a guy saying, "I've just chugged all these pills, and I really believed that he was going to die if I didn't get someone over there." Unfortunately, he had called, and I knew what to do. I got the ambulance over there. They came, they revived him, saved his life, and he was quite grateful in the end. Because we do this impulsive thing. We do this impulsive thing to get out of whatever we're feeling. And when that impulsive thing is death, oh my goodness, the destruction we leave behind is really quite horrific. Well, on this segment, I want to explore one of those overwhelming emotions for a lot of people. It's that feeling of anxiety. Now, it may be something that you've struggled with, and there are all sorts of types. You know, some people just have this kind of free-floating anxiety. Other people are afraid of specific things that have happened to them before, and they never ever want them to happen again, so they're always on guard. They're always in the protection mode. And then, of course, there's the panic attack. I was humiliated. I was moving to California. I thought I had it all under control, but I didn't. I was moving out of the state of Texas, and I was moving halfway across the country, and I just thought it was just another thing to do. But all of a sudden, I'm in my apartment. It was a 2-story apartment, and I think that I'm dying. I think that my heart is going to stop beating. And I make my way, I literally am in my doorway, I open the door, fall to the ground, and I'm just laying outside my door. And I beg these people, take me to the hospital. And they do, and the whole way I'm saying, I can't breathe, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Well, they take me in, I get on a gurney, and a doctor comes right over with a syringe and says, here, I'm gonna give you this, it's gonna change everything. I go, no, I've already, something has happened, I don't need another drug. And sure enough, within 10 seconds, the Valium he gave me took away the anxiety attack. Oh, it was so embarrassing, humiliating. Well, you know, a lot of people that are struggling with addiction have this underlying anxiety that sometimes it does end up in a panic attack. And many times, of course, when we're anxious, we self-medicate. And we self-medicate so much that the medication becomes the source of an addiction. So when we can understand anxiety and all of the complexities, well, then we can get some help in the recovery journey. I don't know where you are. Close to suicide? Thought of it a lot or never? Or overwhelmed with anxiety? Don't know what to do but drink it away or pill it away or smoke it away? Well, listen, just for a while, and I hope that you're going to learn something about anxiety that helps you not ever be overwhelmed and that helps you to deal with it, resolve it, and get over it. We're talking about all sorts of different types of mental health issues, things. Tomorrow and the next day, I'll talk about some ways to help your mental health, guaranteed, or your misery back. But today, I want to talk to you about the most common one, and that is the anxiety disorder. More people report this. I gave the statistic the other day, about 19% have some kind of anxiety problem, and it is very frustrating to have it. And what's so amazing is that for some of these issues, there is a treatment, a medication that when you take it, it adjusts things so quickly you can't believe you've been without it for so long. And then others can be repaired with some pretty standard treatment. But first of all, we could talk about what's called a general anxiety disorder. And there is, you would just have to say you're more prone to anxiety than other people. You're restless, you're on edge, you're irritable. It's kind of like you're on guard the whole time and you're worrying and it's hard to concentrate. Now, you can't really say there's anything in particular or specific that is the focus of this, but it just, overall it happens and your muscles are tight and you're just ready kind of for battle or to defend yourself at any time. And that's a very tough thing to experience. Now, here are folks that have this, that they don't have a specific source that they would say that needs treatment, and they find an anti-anxiety medicine, not a tranquilizer, that doesn't work, but something that adjusts the wiring or the brain chemistry, and pretty soon this thing that was so debilitating, it doesn't affect you anymore. Now, the other thing is that we would call obsessive compulsive disorder. And the obsessive thing is, you get obsessed with different types of fears or questioning, and you're kind of obsessed with cleanliness or dirt or whatever, and you're always going to have some kind of resulting compulsive behavior. But underneath it, there's usually a pretty tough emotion that needs to be dealt with. I'll make it really simple. If I feel dirty because someone sexually abused me, well, then I may become obsessed with cleanliness, and I could become a compulsive showering addict. When I worked in psych hospital, some people would come in, their skin was red and peeling because they took 20 showers a day trying to get free of all of the germs and the bacteria, and they could never do it. So underneath every obsession, I believe, is an unresolved feeling or a trauma that's led to the obsession, and then there's this action that simply has to be performed. And there's some folks that have obsessive compulsive disorder that the anti-anxiety medicine, pretty quickly, it is better. Panic disorder, that's where a person, thinks they've got everything under control, but all of a sudden, impending doom, terror sets in, and you think you're going to die. And I remember having this experience before I moved to California, and when you get through it, you just can't believe the extreme reaction you had. This doesn't make any sense. But in my case, it was something that helped me survive, because I realized I was so afraid and so in denial about moving, the panic attack woke me up. Phobias. This is where we have fears, unrealistic fears, or augmented fears of different things. Fear of spiders, whatever. Fear is not wrong, but these phobias can really, they can just shut us down. I mean, if we're afraid of death, then you don't live because you're so worried about dying. If you're afraid of losing control, people want you to die because you're so bent on controlling everything out of that fear of losing control. And sometimes people with phobias, they're afraid to even get out of the house. And of course, that's called agoraphobia, where, you just want your life to be safe, and you continue to shut in and lower the boundaries and borders, and then finally, maybe someday, you're just stuck in your bedroom and can't get out, and there's no hope. Finally, social anxiety. Whenever I'm with other people, I'm anxious, I'm uneasy, I'm drained by the experience. I just am not one to connect with folks very much. I'm being afraid of being judged, or I feel inferior to them. And so all these things cause me to hate being with other people and then loving my time alone. But that time alone can really destroy us emotionally. If you've struggled with some of these, we could help you at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I don't know of anybody that's ever just on their own resolved some kind of mental health issue in isolation. Everybody needs to be able to reach out to somebody and share. And boy, does it ever take the power out of the most powerful problems when we finally are strong enough, courageous enough to share with somebody else. And you can call us and you can share whatever it is you're going through with a wonderful counselor at New Life. So give us a call. Well, I hope that you'll never forget this, that in recovery there's always hope. And I hope to see you right here again next time.
Thanks for joining us for Life Recovery Today, where we believe your past doesn't have to define your future. If you're ready to take the next step, we're here to help with Bibles, workbooks, devotionals, and more. Visit newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Your journey to healing and freedom can start right now. Until next time, stay hopeful, stay courageous, and keep moving forward.